Will never forget the day my husband Tom and my best friend Sarah betrayed me. In that moment, I realized just how deceitful and untrustworthy the two people I relied on the most could be. Their betrayal shattered my world and left deep wounds in my soul that I had to learn to cope with in the aftermath. It all started with a series of small but concerning details that, looking back, were glaring red flags. Tom would receive late-night messages that he claimed were work-related, and I began to notice how he would often leave the room to take calls in hushed tones. Sarah, my confidant, suddenly became secretive about her weekend plans, which was unusual for her. At first, I dismissed these suspicions as paranoia, convincing myself that I was overthinking things. But deep down, I felt an unsettling intuition that something was off. One fateful evening, while I was in the kitchen preparing dinner, everything came crashing down. A message popped up on Tom's phone, and before I could stop myself, I glanced at the screen. The sender's name was my best friend Sarah, and the content clearly indicated that something was going on between them. My heart sank into my stomach, and I felt as if the ground beneath me had vanished. How could they do this to me? How could the two people I trusted most betray me in such a despicable way? In that moment, I knew I had to confront them. I couldn't let the betrayal fester any longer. I planned a confrontation, choosing a calm Saturday morning when Tom was home and Sarah was available. I invited her over for brunch, masking my intentions with a facade of normalcy. As they sat across from me, blissfully unaware of the storm about to hit, I felt the weight of my emotions bubbling to the surface. Once we were seated, I took a deep breath and laid it all out on the table. The incriminating messages, the secret late-night meetings, the web of lies that had ensnared me. My voice trembled, and my hands shook as I spoke, but I was determined to make them face the truth. Each word was heavy with pain, and I could see the color drain from Tom's face as the reality of what I was saying sank in. Sarah's eyes filled with tears, but I knew those tears were for herself, not for the hurt she had caused me. "I trusted you both," I said, my voice cracking. "How could you do this to me?" Their apologies fell flat, empty and hollow. Tom stammered, trying to justify his actions, but I could see the guilt etched on his face. Sarah, on the other hand, tried to explain away her involvement, but nothing she said could erase the hurt. I realized then that their betrayal had been a choice, a deliberate act that neither of them could truly justify. It wasn't just a mistake, it was a calculated decision that ripped apart the very fabric of my life. As the days passed, I was engulfed in a whirlwind of emotions. Anger coursed through my veins like fire, grief twisted in my chest, and a deep sense of loss settled over me like a dark cloud. I felt as if I was drowning in my own sorrow. I leaned heavily on my family for support, sharing my anguish with them and seeking comfort in their presence. I also began seeing a therapist, desperately trying to navigate the chaos inside my mind. It was a long and arduous journey, but slowly I began to heal. Each session helped me uncover layers of pain, and I started to process the betrayal and its impact on my life. Eventually, I decided to part ways with Tom. The trust between us had become irreparably broken. It was a decision filled with sorrow, but also relief. The weight of his betrayal was too heavy to bear, and I knew I deserved better. Sarah, in an attempt to escape the fallout of her actions, moved to another city, a necessary distance for my own peace of mind. Her absence allowed me the space to grieve and heal without constant reminders of the betrayal. As time passed, I focused on rebuilding my life piece by piece. I set new goals for myself, explored my interests, and opened a new chapter in my life. I rediscovered hobbies I had neglected and found joy in activities that made me feel alive again. I realized that I was capable of so much more than I had previously believed. This journey of self-discovery was both liberating and empowering. In the end, the betrayal taught me an invaluable lesson about resilience and self-worth. I emerged from this dark chapter stronger, knowing that I deserved honesty and loyalty in my relationships. Though the scars from this experience remain, I wear them proudly as a testament to the woman I've become, a woman who knows her value and will not settle for anything less. I may have been betrayed, but I refuse to let it define me. I am a survivor, a warrior who stands tall, with a heart that has mended and a spirit that has grown. I will not allow anyone to diminish my worth again. I have learned that I am enough just as I am.